So self-assessment tax return is the way in which you report your taxable income and gains, as well as allowances and reliefs for a particular tax year. The tax year runs from the 6th of April to the following 5th of April, and you need to file the tax return by the 31st of January following the end of the tax year. So yeah, you need to file your tax return by 31st of January following the end of the tax year. So the tax returns we're looking at the moment, 22, 23, you need to file by 31st of January 2024. If you don't file your tax return by that date, there's two penalty regimes. There's late filing penalty and late payment penalty. So there are two regimes that run separately, and they're quite complicated, and they can rack up quite quickly, especially if you've got a large tax bill. So kind of my tip is get your tax return filed by the 31st of January. You don't have to worry about any of those regimes. And on top of penalties, there's also interest. So you've got late filing penalties, late payment penalties, and interest that can all be potentially racking up at the same time. So get it all done by the 31st of January. So most people don't need to file a tax return every year. So most people are employed, so you get your tax deducted through your payroll every month, and the person who runs the payroll will make sure the appropriate amount of tax goes to HMRC by the deadline. So tax returns are for people who don't have their tax deducted through PAYE. And so common examples are people who are self-employed with income over a certain level, people who have rental property, people with dividend income and interest income over the tax-free allowances, people with who are in receipt of child benefit, who have taxable income over £50,000, they have to file a tax return itself. Yes. Yep, so registration is really straightforward. There's an online form. It takes about 5 minutes to complete. So it'll ask you some personal information. It'll ask you what sort of income you're looking to report on a tax return. You submit it, and then HMRC will issue you with a 10-digit reference number. You need that reference number to file the return. You only need to register once, and then HMRC will issue you with a return every year if they think a return is required. So you basically need all your financial information for that tax year. So all your income sources, all your expenses, any release you might be entitled to. So for example, if you have a rental property, you're going to need the agent statements for that tax year. You're going to need your repairs. You need details of your mortgage interest that you've paid, sort of any other expenses. And if, for example, you're employed and you have a rental property, you're going to need to report the P60 information on the tax return as well. Because even though tax is deducted at source, HMRC you still need to report it, and you get a credit for that tax you've already paid. Yeah, you can file a tax return yourself. HMRC have got an online tool that you can use. It's quite basic, so it's good if your affairs are quite basic. So if you're in receipt of child benefit with income over a certain level, it's fine for that. But things that are more complicated, it does struggle with. So agent software is a lot more sophisticated than the HMRC free software. And tax agents, we're filing tax returns all day, every day. We know exactly what information we need, what goes where, and could be sort of more proactive in the advice that we give. So there is an HMRC online tool that tells you whether a tax return is required. So you go online, it asks you a series of questions, you answer the questions, and then at the end it tells you if tax return is required or not. Yeah, so instead of collating everything at the end of the tax year or last minute, recommend keeping a running document, an Excel document where you put all the information as you receive it into this Excel document. It makes it more straightforward for you if you're filing your tax return yourself, and it makes it a lot more straightforward for your agent to provide them with this document rather than having a load of documents that you need to review at the same time. Yeah, I mean, certainly with some clients, we do help them collate these documents and create the Excel or some sort of master document. If we're going to do this for a client, we sort of recommend you get the information well in advance, so we've got more time to do this for you rather than last minute, and we're sort of rushing to get that document together.